Hello everyone, welcome to episode 3 of Gamer7. I'm Justin, and today we're going to be talking about Forza Horizon, the game by Turn 10 and Playground Games. We're also going to be talking about Far Cry 3 and its beautiful new, Cry 3 engine, as well as new IPs versus remakes. With me today is my buddy Jeremy, as always.
Hello everyone.
As well as my buddy Andrew.
How's everyone doing today?
So let's get right into Forza Horizon, which me and Andrew have been playing quite a bit of.
It's a very good game, actually.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm not a huge Forza fan. I liked Forza 4, not a huge fan of 3 or 2 or anything, but Horizon's pretty good.
Yeah, I think the fact that they decided to go with more of an open world game aspect versus the track game is actually going to invite a lot more people into it.
Yeah, no, I've kind of always been partial to open world racing games. The Need for Speed games back in last generation, like was it Underground? Yep. Those were open world, and those were fun.
Yeah,
Underground 2. Yes, that one was also great.
I've actually heard from quite a few people I know that are more Forza diehard fans that they're not really too entertained with this one, just because it doesn't offer the same.
There's definitely not as much cars.
Well, it wasn't so much the cars that they had an issue with. It was more the fact that it didn't have the realism that they were looking for in most Forza games.
Well, this is like a mixture of Forza, which is very realistic, and something like from Need for Speed that's more arcadey. It's like an in-between, which is what I kind of fell in love with it for, because I get that kind of high realism that you don't ever see in an arcade game, but I have the nice arcade feel, the over-the-top sort of things.
Yeah, when you're looking at this game, regardless of what platform you're playing it on, the cars themselves look stunning. The environment is very well-rounded, and just playing the game feels very natural and fluid. It's very similar to playing like a Forza 4 or playing in one of the other racing simulators, but you get the more open world feel while you're driving down those streets and you're actually turning. The upgrade system is something that I've seen come back in this one, and it's actually something I really enjoy. It's something I feel that's been lacking from most games recently when it comes to cars. You always get these cars where they'll give you a brand new one, such as in the most recent Need for Speed, but in this one you can actually fully modify your car. In all honesty, I'd really like to see like an Underground style game come back where I can fully trick out my car and make it look stupid.
Like Street Racing Syndicate, SRS.
Yeah,
remember that game? I think it was Namco that I think released out. That was an amazing game.
No, SRS Racing was a very good game. They also had another one called Juiced, which was actually out on the 360. Juiced 2 came out on it.
Yeah, Juiced 2. Wasn't that like the last one though?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it just completely.
Yeah, and it makes me sad to know that that type of game actually got canceled due to the underpopularity of selling, and a lot of it's pressure just from street racing and the police, because they felt it promoted street racing. So we lose that.
Probably a reason why EA hasn't made another Underground game.
Yeah, and you also got to remember they were playing on the hype of the Fast and Furious movies when those were out.
That's very true.
So overall, I felt that the game has offered quite a bit of playthrough. The replay value on it, I feel, is very high.
The multiplayer was good.
The multiplayer is very good.
You and I played a bit of that.
It's slightly choppy.
Yeah, I think that just might have had to do with our connections. But,
yeah,
you know.
I'm not too sure what caused that issue, but it was kind of weird, and I shouldn't have lost those 2 races. Other than that, I feel that the game overall deserves a fairly good rating from whoever's playing it. And if you are a Forza fan, I say you should give it a shot just to see how you like the open world environments. The upgrade system that they brought directly over from Forza 4 is very integrated, and you can also do whatever you basically want with the car, from modifying your suspension to rally status to swapping out for your engines from aspirated to turbo to supercharged. It really depends on what the cars and they're offering them. It's a very well-rounded experience, and I feel it's something that they've offered to the franchise, and it's a very nice thing to have.
Yeah, and you know, if you're someone coming from the EA side of the arcadey thing, this is really good. If you really wanted to get your feet wet, try something new, like a simulation racer, but without all of the restrictions and other crazy things that happens in those games. So
yeah, overall I feel it's a very well-rounded game, and I'd say you should definitely give it a try if you've got a time.
Definitely get it.
Okay, now we are going to talk about Far Cry 3. I love this game, but there will be some spoilers, so you should skip to the next part of the show if you're worried about that sort of thing. My basic thought on this game is I love it. I've been playing the PC version, and it's beautiful, and even on the Xbox, it's pretty beautiful. It's all because of the great things they did with the Cry 3 engine, and but mostly we're just gonna stick to the game. So I haven't beaten it all the way, but I have killed Voss, and Voss is the big bad, and he's Voss is boss basically. He's so cool. You start off as this wimpy little white guy, and you slowly become this psychotic badass, and I absolutely adore that, because most of the time you start off as a badass and just stay a badass. I like the switch in perspective from different first-person shooters. I also like the focus more on stealth than over action. I mean, I love to go in and blow shit up, but that doesn't get me all the experience I need. So I've been taking a more stealthy approach to most of the missions, and it rewards me for that. So I like that. It's teaching me a new play style.
Okay, so just to catch a few people up on who might not actually know what Far Cry 3 is all about, the basic premise of the game is you are a group of 5 kids from California, more upper middle class, got some money, and you decide to go out on a big vacation because your younger brother got his pilot's license. While you're out on vacation, you decide to go skydiving, and while you're skydiving, you land on what is to believe to be a deserted island. It turns out it's not deserted, and it's actually inhabited by drug mules, cartels, slave traders, a lot of bad shit. And that's Pirates, yes. I believe that's actually what they call them in the game.
Yeah, they're the pirates.
Okay.
The red-shirted pirates.
Yeah, so the game itself offers a very intuitive play style. The Cry 3 engine offering beautiful effects while you're using any flamethrowers or anything else, flushing out enemies. They allow for full burning of environments, burning of buildings, explosions. If you can destroy it, you can do it in this game. And it's a lot of fun to just drive around and actually adventure and figure out the map. The map is huge, dude.
Oh, it's gigantic, and you slowly unveil it by finding these radio towers. Each radio tower is very unique on how you get to the top. I have yet to I've found them all, and not one felt like, oh, this is just a copy of that one over there, which is awesome, and I just kind of wish there were a little bit more.
I had multiple experiences while going through those, actually. And there's a couple of them. I got near the top, and I couldn't figure out how to get through it for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, it forces you to use your mind and do some actual spatial thinking on. And you see a bar, and like, oh, I can't walk on that. And then you realize, if I crouch, I can, and that'll get me to the next jump point. Mm-hmm. And so you can scale a little bit higher.
And I think you're actually thinking about the one I was stuck on for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I kept getting to a point, and I jumped up about 2 floors, and I could see the jump point I need to get to. Mm-hmm. And I kept trying to walk over to it. I'm like, okay, maybe I can just edge my way across. And I'd fall down. And I got back up to where I was, and I couldn't figure this out for the life of me. It took me like 20 minutes. And then I realized, oh, wait, if I crouch, I can kind of slide underneath this bar and then stand up and jump where I need to jump. And it's like, why didn't I think of that? Like, I did that for 20 minutes. Why did I not know to jump or crouch so I can jump? It was so stupid. But going through the game, I'm not sure how Jeremy over here was really handling it. I'm a walk-in and everything dies type of person. But my favorite weapon in that game was the bow and arrow.
Oh yeah, I love the bow and arrow. When I'm going into one of those pirate camps, I am using that bow first off. I'm like, okay, what can I do? I scope everybody out with the camera because it has this nice little marking system, and occasionally I miss one, and I'm like, oh crap, and I choose to die. And I always look for an animal cage. Whenever I go to one of them, I go for an animal cage. Because that'll take care of most of the enemies, especially the ones that I don't catch.
Have you had the pleasure of actually shooting out all the alarms so they can't sound the alarms?
I haven't shot them out, but I've snuck up to them and put them out and like did the wiring thing, the sneaky thing. I'm not a sneaky person, but in this game I'm sneaky.
Yeah, I did it completely the opposite way. I laid on a hill, like a couple kilometers away, pulled out the sniper rifle.
Big one?
The big one.
Yeah.
and put 3 shots down range. One into the box, one into a dude's head, and one into another box, and and you can guess where that one went.
But the sneaking part is a bit rewarding for me, especially if the camp has heavies. because with the heavies, they're annoying to take care of because you need a light machine gun or the big sniper rifle to really get them down fast. But if you're sneaky and you've upgraded the sneaky perk all the way, you can stab them. And it's not like one stab with the little guys. No, you stab him in between the armor, and then you just go batshit on him. Like 4 or 5 more stabs. Not as bad as it was when you killed Vaz. Oh, God. But still, pretty gruesome.
Yeah. A downturn point for me is actually the final boss battles. Voss you kill in a quick time event.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Well,
no, it was a quick time event. Dude.
I know it's a quick time event, but it's more personal that way. Because shooting him with a gun or sneaking, you couldn't sneak up on Vaz. Vaz is crazy enough to always be twitching and looking over his shoulder and stuff. So sneaking up to him wasn't going to work. Shooting at him obviously didn't work because you ended up getting high again. However that worked, and you killed a whole bunch of little Vazes before you got into the knife fight. The quick time event, while disappointing that it's a quick time event, it was the perfect way to do it.
I honestly seriously disagree on that one. I felt that offering us a way to take him out in a more stealthy manner, catching him while he's sleeping, catching him doing something that you wouldn't have expected to catch him doing, I felt would have offered more to it. I actually really felt cheated because I got Voss, to me, was this crazy monstrosity that you could never kill this guy. This guy was completely untouchable. And as I got closer and closer to getting to him, I started to realize that he's not as strong as he thinks he is, because I'm murdering his entire fleet, walking through everyone. And then I actually get to the zone, and I'm seeing him, and it's like, okay, I can kill Voss easy. What?
Okay. No, but you say that, but then you got to remember, he doesn't care about his men. For one, he's insane. He doesn't care about them. He's like, okay, you keep killing those guys, but I'm still here. He was always one step ahead of you. When you were going to rescue the resistance characters, he was in the back of the ATV, ready to punch you in the face. He even said, "Hello, James," and then bam, you're out, and then you know the famous.
Have I ever told you the definition of insanity?
Yeah. Like,
if you don't know what we're referencing to, I would totally go look that up on YouTube. It's very hilarious.
I recently watched that trailer again, and it's actually like redesign. They redesigned it in the actual game, but it was similar to a mission in the game, the actual part in the game.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, so Vaz, he's saying that because you keep. He's not saying that because he's insane. He is, but he doesn't think he is, because no insane person thinks he's insane. But he's saying that because you keep trying to kill him, and he keeps outsmarting you.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying you're insane, which is a little true because you've kind of gone native.
I guess you could look at it that way. But let's continue a little bit further.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to venture into an area that Jeremy has not seen. So
I'm ready for spoilers.
Okay, so spoilers alert, spoilers alert, spoilers alert. Stepping on to the second island. As you move over there, the whole thing is you're going after Voss's boss, who is Hoyt. Hoyt is not psychotic, he's just a dick. I have no other way of describing this man. He's just a dick. He does everything from drug dealing to human trafficking, to slave trading, to whatever. That's just who he is. All of his men that he has on the island are mercenaries that he pays per kill. He places a huge bounty on your head, and you actually go and meet up with what was your guy's name? What was your contact's name?
I'm right there. I know. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't really remember, though.
So you meet up with a German contact who is completely crazy, and it's awesome.
He's got Batman status. I just met him, and I'm like, he went around the corner, and you go, and then he goes, and then James goes, where'd he go? No, it's Jason. Excuse me.
Jason. He
goes, where'd the fuck he go? Everybody curses in this game.
Yeah, it's great. But going forward, it's really crazy. And the final boss battle, which kind of pissed me off, was, again, it was a quick time event.
No, with what happened with Vaz, I expected that.
The final mission, it's really funny, actually, because you're sitting at the table, and you've blown up all of his refineries, you've blown up all his oil, you've torched his fields. You've basically rained hell down on this man. You've blown out his communications. You've done everything humanly possible to piss this man off. And you go up to the table. And I should note, you're wearing long sleeve shirts. And like no one actually knows what you look like. According to everyone, they don't know who the hell you are. And you sit down at the table. And he quickly, Hoyt just calls you out on it. He goes, Jason, how could you do this? Like, how could you act this way and not expect me to know? And you're playing cards with the guy. And it turns into not a game of betting money anymore. It turns into a game of betting your life. And if you win, you get to kill Hoyt. But it's kind of scripted. You're not actually going to be able to win because the cards they deal are intended to make you lose. It's actually pretty funny. You lose your ring finger on your left hand.
Really?
Yes, you do.
That's another callback to Assassin's Creed franchise.
It is.
Because did you get the Lost Expedition DLC with your copy?
No.
Well,
I might have.
It's a little orange circle with a spiral pattern on the inside.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, it's on the map.
Okay.
But one of them you go to a you go to a Templar lab
when nice.
they were just starting to invent all that stuff in Assassin's Creed. It's all run down and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
And for some reason the pirates are there. Pirates are everywhere.
Yeah.
They're like roaches.
But no, he puts your hand on the table and he holds your ring finger down on your left hand, takes a knife and stabs it directly through your finger. And he says, and it's basically he's like, okay, you've got another chance. I'm going to take it finger by finger.
Oh god.
And that's how he plays it.
Oh.
And you sit there and you play another hand and then you get to kill him. Like you get up and you stab him and then like you're going back and forth and it's like a knife fight. And because again, I'm playing it on the computer. I don't know what the controls would be on the Xbox, but it's like left mouse, right mouse, left mouse, right mouse. And you've got to like dodge his blades. Like you hit him in the arm and stuff. And you finally get to put a blade in his chest. And as you proceed forward throughout it, it gets pretty dark because again, another spoiler alert, we're going to talk about the ending of the game. As you're moving to the end of the game, you've made a choice. And I mean, most people, by the time they get to this point, will know where they want to stay. Jeremy, are you staying or are you going?
I want to stay, but I think I'm going to go for the leaving ending.
Huh? You're going to go for the leaving ending?
I'm going to go for the leaving ending, but I want to stay.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you right now. The staying ending, what you have to do to stay on the island, you have to execute your girlfriend.
No. What? Why?
Because okay,
doesn't make sense.
What's the female lead that's been training you this entire time?
Begins with a C.
Yeah. Okay.
Why don't we know these things?
I don't know. Because the name just slips my mind.
Yeah, it's not a name you can remember.
Yeah. But basically what it is she comes out and you're on basically an acid trip at the end, dude. That's 100% what it looks like is an acid trip.
There's so many drug levels. They're awesome. I love them.
But you're walking through, and you get to the end, and they say you need to get rid of all your weakness. And you remember the knife you went and found?
Yeah.
Okay. You're holding the knife that you found in your hand at your girlfriend's throat.
Okay.
Okay, and your two choices are stay on the island or leave.
Uh-huh.
If you stay on the island, you slit your girlfriend's throat. Right there.
Wow.
Okay? That is your dedication to the island.
No.
No, but that's what it becomes because they feel that's your weakness.
You go to her and say, I'm not staying with you, I'm staying on this island at one point.
Yeah, you do.
And she goes off and cries and you're like, well, that was harder than I thought. No real emotion. He's still he's just harder than I thought. How is that some sort of weekend? He's all for killing Hoyt and anyone who gets in his way.
Yeah, but so you get to that point. So up on the platform, you have your knife to your girlfriend's throat. Mm-hmm. You have the other girl to your left. Mm-hmm. You have your brother and your other friend to your right.
Your brother's alive?
Huh? I forgot to tell you.
I knew it. I knew that guy who got raped by a dude. Also, that's awesome to put in a video game because mostly rape is what happens to women. Yeah. Anyway, that's a sub problem. But anyway, I knew he was lying. He just wanted me off that island. He said the wrong motherfucking thing.
Yeah, your younger brother's still alive.
Yeah, Jason's all like, okay, we're going to get my brother and then we're going to go. He's like, he's dead. And they're like, I'm going to kill those motherfuckers. No, I'm going to get my brother and go. I'm going to kill those fuckers. He said the exact wrong thing.
Yeah, it was funny. Because when you actually first meet your brother, you are in the full suit. And Hoyt sends you down there to interrogate a prisoner. You don't know who it is.
Oh.
And you beat the shit out of your younger brother.
Does he have a hood on?
Huh?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
Then you know who it is
yes,
when you're
you
beating
do.
him up? Oh.
Dude, directly, you know who it is. And like that, I think that's where Hoyt actually figures out who you were. Because your friend tries to loop the feed, and I don't believe it works as well as he's hoping it does.
Yeah.
But like you have your quick little chat with your brother, and then you deck him in the face like 3 times. And just like knock him out of the chair, basically.
Okay.
And it's pretty bad. But yeah, at the final choice, back to the end. At the final choice, you either kill them, or you let them go. If you let them go, you're leaving the island.
All right.
Okay. If you choose that, remember the first guy that you met that drug you out of the water that was giving you the tattoo?
Yeah, I remember him.
Okay. You turn around and stab the lady that was helping you, like learn your powers. You stab her.
Well, she raped you.
Well,
You remember?
Yeah,
You get high and you
yeah.
wake up and she's sitting on top of you topless. She raped you while you were on drugs.
Okay.
Sure, you wake up and don't care, but she still raped you.
But the fact remains is you kill her, and it just like everyone else goes nuts. It's like, how could you do this? She loved you. Blah 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 blah. And then you leave. Okay. Here is what royally pissed me off about this ending.
Okay.
I left the island.
All right.
Everything happened. No cutscene.
No cutscene?
No cutscene.
No cutscene leaving, no wrapping it up, no like that
No.
place changed me.
Cutscene.
No, I gotta live with everything I've done on that island.
No cutscene.
Not even dialogue over pictures.
No cutscene.
At least Mass Effect ending gave us dialogue over pictures.
We have no ending, like at all. Because I looked at that and I'm going, okay, I want to know how he reacts when he goes home. I wanted to know how he acted when he got home. Like, how did he treat his parents? What did people say about the tattoo? I wanted to know these little things about how the story ended. Because to me, the story didn't end when he got, like, on the boat to go home.
No.
That's not where that story ends. The story ends when he gets home and everyone goes, the hell happened to you?
I don't want to talk about it.
I mean, it could have simply been that, but
Years
it wasn't.
of therapy for everything he did on that island. The memories, the good memories and the bad memories.
See, and I don't know what happens if you kill them. So I didn't do that ending.
Oh, so you didn't do the...
No.
You didn't do the stay on the island?
No,
you
I
left
did
the
not.
island?
I left the island.
I might have to stay on the island just because you left the island. I mean, like, it seems like that's the character. You find out your brother's alive, and you no longer have to be this psychotic dude, because you're like, I have to protect my little brother again. So it's natural course that you go from psycho who wants to get revenge to protective older brother. Back, that seems like a good arc. So you leave the island. Makes sense to me. To stay on the island where you have to kill your little brother who you fought.
You have to kill everyone.
Everyone you fought so hard. They knew you were fighting so hard to save them.
Yeah, but the reason they tell you to kill them is because they're your one weakness.
Your one weakness is the people that you want to protect. But that's not a weakness. That's a strength.
No, but they're saying that's his current weakness now. Because he's
weakness.
Well, they're saying that's his only weakness now because he's already got to the point where he's rescued all of them.
Yeah.
He's gained all of his abilities. He's fully powered up.
He's got that tattoo that magically appeared on him.
He's supposed to be the king now.
The king of Rook Island. Okay.
Yeah. And she wants him to rule with her, and he's not going for it at all.
Yeah. Okay, that does sound like a disappointing ending.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not for killing the people I rescued. I am not the kind of person who kills innocent people who just want to go home. I say let them go home. Forget about them.
So this is gonna sound bad.
What?
The one dude I didn't want to kill was the dude that got ass raped. for one reason.
He got ass raped?
No, because that fucker will never get over what happened to him.
Never. No, that's a memory you want him to live with.
No, you don't want him to live with that. What are you talking about? That dude, you should have taken him out in the back and shot him before you brought him back and told everyone else, I'm sorry, I couldn't get him.
Oh.
Would you, honestly, do you think most people could live with something like that?
Yeah,
No.
killing would have been a mercy, but...
Yeah,
yeah,
it would have been a mercy killing.
But he's a dick.
Overall, my thoughts on the game, it's a very solid game. It's very beautiful to look at. The play style is a lot of fun. I've enjoyed going through the missions and basically walking in with machine guns and guns a-blazing and just killing everyone. My colleague Jeremy over here, it seems, has been more of a stealthy bird, which is kind of weird for him.
Yeah, I'm not that kind of a guy. You get in any other game with me, and I'm blow you up, punch you to the ground sort of play style. I'm a strength-based character, not a sneaker. So
I honestly feel the game was very good. It had some points that I really didn't like, such as the ending and a few other little pieces here and there that I didn't like. Other than that, I feel if you want to play a good game, I'd give it a shot.
Oh yeah, most definitely. If I were to give this a rating system, I'm gonna go for a to an F system, like in high school. I would totally give it an A, a solid A. Not a perfect, but a solid A.
Because I've completed the game and I know how the game ends. If I have to give it something, I'm giving it a B minus.
B minus?
A B minus.
Soft or hard B minus?
It's fallen to a C.
Wow.
And that 100% is because of the ending. Like, I thought Mass Effect 3's ending was bad, dude. No, I saw Far Cry 3's ending, and I'm like, oh god.
All right, now it's time for the almighty debate. My friend and I have very different views on certain topics, and this topic is new IPs versus remakes, reboots, and sequels. Yep. I don't like sequels.
I know you don't. This conversation started when you and I decided to watch the Phantom Pain trailer.
That's such a good trailer. I love that game. And I want to play the Phantom Pain, but then there's the problem. The overwhelming problem that fills my heart with such rage that I can barely contain my screams. It's a Metal Gear game.
Or at least very much probably will be a Metal Gear game.
It shouldn't. It probably is, but I don't want it to be.
There's a lot of mounting evidence to suggest that the company that's making it doesn't exist, because even Konami accidentally hinted at during the show that Moby Dick Studios didn't exist. Which means that all this is a big giant ruse.
Yeah, that may be right, but it's still speculation.
It is speculation at that, but still.
It's all but confirmed, and I'm holding on to that last little 1%, hoping that this is a new horror IP.
Definitely probably isn't a horror game, but yeah, it's something.
Giant, flaming, humpback whale.
Psychological, maybe, not horror.
Helicopter.
Psychological.
Helicopter.
Psychological.
Oh, God.
PTSD, man.
Post-traumatic stress from... Yeah, if it is the Metal Gear game, I know exactly who it is and what's it about.
So, yeah. But let's get into... You are definitely the man of I want new IPs.
I am so tired of everything.
I get you. And while I do love new IPs and stuff, I understand the whole sequel thing or remakes or... You know, unfortunately, the game industry is a business.
I know it's a business.
And like that, you have to take, precautions. It's always safer to go with a sequel. But I'm with you. I hate sequels that just go for the bare minimum. Like, for the longest time, Call of Duty has really just been the bare minimum. It's always the same game. In fact,
okay, since we're bringing up Call of Duty, I think the first-person shooter genre should just fade out of existence.
It has gotten very popular as recent, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere, in all honesty. What was really big last generation? There was a huge influx of, action games. Action games had a huge thing. Shooters were starting to come into their thing because of the Xbox.
Because of the Xbox.
There was a Rainbow Six game that came out around the time. That was one of the... Ghost Recon. Ghost Recon. That was one of the first games that really utilized Xbox Live, and that just exploded. Unreal Tournament helped really cement first-person shooters on the PC.
Unreal Tournament is so over the top that it's forgivable, in my opinion, for being a first-person shooter. Plus, it didn't have iron sights.
Yes, I think that's the biggest thing. Iron sights, which was what Ghost Recon used iron sights. So
everything has iron sights now, and it's gotten to the point that you can't even fire from the hip.
Nope, it's impossible.
You're gonna fire from the hip. You're gonna lose accuracy so fast. You're not gonna hit anything. Iron sights, 3 bullets. You more than likely hit what you were aiming at.
Yep. No, I'm with you. But let's get out of the first person shooter and just IPs in general. You know, it's just easy. What I basically want is what I'm trying to get at is, if you're going to do a sequel or a reboot or a remake, trying to play it safe, do something different at the same time.
Okay. You just said do something different and play it safe in the same sentence.
Yes. Okay.
You can't do that.
Yes, you can.
You can either take a risk or you can play it safe.
Case in point, Castlevania. When they rebooted it into that 3D like whole Lords of Shadow.
Yeah.
They did something completely different that the series hadn't really had. I mean, sure, they had Lament of Innocence, which was the PlayStation 2 3D one. And
which was a utter failure, if I remember correctly.
It was. The controls were garbage and stuff. And then there was another one that was really different.
I'm just going to say it right now. A 3D hero with a whip is a little weird.
Yeah, I know.
I played Lords of Shadow. I got barely into it. I actually need to borrow your copy. But playing with a whip, it was like, I can do the same thing with a sword and it'll be a smoother animation.
Yeah.
This is such a long animation. An attack should never take that long. Sure, they speed it up so it does, but it's still so many frames of animation. When I was taking an animation class, they said don't start from a sheathed stance. And that's what you're doing with the whip every time. You gotta first unfold it and then whip it out. It was pretty fast on the 2D version, and the 2Ds were good.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of them. There's a new Castlevania sequel coming out. I don't want it. I don't want sequels. I want new IPs. This is what I want out of the gaming industry. I'm never going to get it, so people who say, that's never going to happen, shut up. I know. I want one more sequel for every existing franchise. One more sequel. Just to shut the door on everything, answer any questions anyone's ever asked, and not like Prometheus that asks more questions than it answered. Answered 0, asked all of them. That's what I want. I want the end. Done. Kaput, and then a new generation with new intellectual properties. That's what I want.
That's never going to happen.
I told you. I know.
I'm just, putting it out there so you know.
I know! I said I knew!
Come on. Okay. First off, it's never going to happen for one very key reason. The gaming industry would probably not continue to thrive off new IPs. We always are going to eventually need a Zelda game. We're going to need a Mario game.
Guild Wars 2 and the Star Wars MMO.
What was that for?
What's happening to both of those?
They failed.
They failed.
Why?
Because they were a sequel.
No, they weren't.
They weren't.
They were. Well, I count them as sequels.
They were technically new IPs.
Well, Guild Wars 2 is still
Guild
going.
Wars 2 is a complete rebuild.
Completely, it's still 2. SWTOR just had a lot. You don't.
They were asking way too much out of it.
Yeah, and you don't like SWTOR because it doesn't have raids, and you love raids.
Doesn't like it because of Star Wars.
RPG fans like me might like it. Well, it's free to play. I'm gonna give it a shot.
A free shot.
A free shot.
It's a one-time playthrough game.
Well, yeah.
What do you expect from BioWare?
BioWare is good at telling stories.
A single story.
A singular story.
So, no, I mean the world needs Zelda. The world needs Mario. They need things that they can depend on. Because let's face it.
No, we don't need Zelda anymore. They've held our hands long enough. But look at Skyward Sword. It sucked.
Some people didn't like it. Some people did.
Most people I hear from say it sucked.
Most of those people didn't like the control.
They're not talking about the controls. They're talking about everything about it. They hate it.
Yeah, but see, people said the same thing about Wind Waker, and I never understood that.
Well, Wind Waker was because it was such a shift from the...
That's what I want. I want every game to become Wind Waker.
Every game to be
just
Wind
a complete shift.
But it was just a visual shift. If you remember, they did a hardware test that showed us that spiffy Twilight Princess looking Link, and everybody's like, oh yeah, we're really excited for this new adult Link game. Instead, we got the cel shaded Wind Waker. Well, I liked that because it was It was interesting.
It was like a reboot. It was different.
It was different, which is good. It was different, which was good. But people didn't like it because it was cartoon. They say they don't like it because it was cartoony, but really they just feel gypped because they were promised one thing and were given another.
They weren't promised it. It was just a tech video. It was a tech demo.
I know, but they see that it gets into their mind. That's what we're gonna get with the next Zelda game.
Again,
you make something like that. You make a promise, and to people who saw Wind Waker and were like, "What is this cartoon? What's going on?" They felt gypped.
Yeah,
and plus Zelda is a franchise you can leave off anywhere.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have to make another Zelda game.
Yes, but people want it. That's the biggest thing. The biggest thing is also, supply and demand. People demand these sort of games. Okay, as much as you and I hate Call of Duty, that sells billions of dollars.
Yes,
billions of dollars after the hundreds of million dollars of marketing. They still make billions of dollars in revenue.
I am well aware, and they charge entirely too much for their DLC.
Yes, I get that, but people buy it, so obviously people like it. Obviously, you and I will never understand it. We will never be. We'll never be the Call of Duty guys who wait every year to buy the next game that's exactly the same. Different colored enemies.
Yeah, not even. I was watching my little brother play the campaign. No, I was watching you play the campaign to Modern Warfare 3.
Because I got Modern it really cheap.
3. And then you were aiming at your buddies like, oh, I'm going to shoot. Oh, wait, he's got a green. Like, everybody looked the same in that game.
It was very hard. It was very jarring because I didn't know whether I should shoot at the person in front of me because I saw them covering. And I thought that it was an enemy. But nope, it was my friend because he had his name
a green name. Yeah, that doesn't happen in the battlefield. If you see somebody who looks like an enemy, you shoot him for real.
Yeah, no, and it's definitely jarring because if you're playing on the harder difficulties, you just want to shoot, but if you shoot your friends, you have to reset because you killed an ally, and they tell you not to kill allies.
I know.
So yeah, no, I'm with you.
Okay, so a new intellectual property is a brilliant new IPs that take a risk, tell a new and interesting story. Sure, it goes with some of the tropes from the past video games, but at least it's new.
But I'll
take an Iron Sight shooter that tells a good story. I probably won't like it because I don't like shooters. I don't like those kind of shooters. But at least it'll be different. Black on the last console. Did you ever play Black?
I did not play Black.
It was like Black Ops before Black Ops. You were a Black Ops person. It was new. It was interesting. I didn't like it, but it was new and it was interesting and it failed. That's the risk you take with making a new IP. But you make a new IP and you make a new IP and you make a new IP until you get a good one.
I know.
And then you give that a sequel if it warrants it to wrap everything up if you raise questions of the first one.
Yeah, but you have to realize...
Games should not go past the third sequel. And the third sequel should answer everything.
No, I definitely agree with ending in threes. And a lot of the game industry does end in threes.
Yeah. But even our favorite one isn't ending in a third. It isn't ending at number 3. It's getting a new game, different character, new game, still called Mass Effect 4.
Is it called Mass Effect 4?
I believe it is.
Because they just said new Mass Effect game. They haven't told us whether it's going to be an RPG or something entirely different. It's just that it is Mass Effect and it is set after 3.
Yeah, like after 3?
So, I think so.
So
again,
nothing we wanted.
Words in my mouth.
So are we looking at another Halo Wars?
Oh God.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you make it sound as if that new IPs don't happen. New IPs have happened throughout this entire
I know they do, but they don't get as much. And they don't get as much hype as other.
Okay, let's bring out probably our favorite new IP of this console generation. Like, end of story. If we make a list, so it'll probably be close to one.
Yeah,
Brutal Legend.
Brutal Legend was awesome.
You and I love that game. It had issues. It had issues up the butt. Like the whole control system didn't really work. If you figured out how to make it work for you, then it was fine. But it
perfect. For me.
It wasn't perfect. That's basically what I'm getting at.
For me, I specified for me.
Yes.
Excuse me, I can't talk.
And now that game is $5 at GameStop.
Yeah, no one likes it.
No one liked it.
We are the only two people on the planet who like it.
Literally, like maybe 6 months into that game coming out, it was $20. It was $20. I went over and saw it in the used section for $17.99 if you had a the GameStop card. And what do you got to say?
So you guys keep talking about how they can only make bad intellectual properties when they're releasing new ones. Earlier in our franchise or in our speech, we were talking about Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
And personally, when I'm looking at that type of game, I've seen all 4 Forzas. I've played all 4 of them.
Yep.
I've owned 1 and 2. I've played 3 and 4 over here and at a few of my friends' house. I also own Forza Horizon. I feel Forza is a style of game that you don't need a new IP for. It's a game that you can continuously make new versions of it because you don't really have a story.
Yeah.
So you need to look at how these games are being made. The Call of Duty games, the way that they could fix Call of Duty games is to get rid of the story missions. 100%, they can get rid of the story missions.
Oh yeah, most people don't even play it for the story. If you release the game at maybe like $40, $50 and only include nothing but multiplayer, people would still buy it. Okay, no problem.
But the fact remains, if they were to take away the story time that they put into building that game, and they were to simply make it a multiplayer FPS, and dedicate the time that they would have put into building the single-player missions, and make the back end better, fix the fucking buggy controls, make sure you're actually getting hitboxes that actually understand what hit radiuses are, and actually make it good, you know what? I really wouldn't have a problem with a new one coming out every year or two.
That really It'd be like Madden, essentially. They're updates.
Yeah, that's what it would be. It would be a $40 update, so a new expansion for your game every 6 months to a year. But just my 2 cents.
Okay, thank you. But you're still pitching an idea for a sequel. A sequel with no story. I can deal with that. I'm tired of reliving the same stories in the same franchises over and over again. How many times does Peach have to get kidnapped? Seriously.
It's all the time, man.
No. You figure that she's a princess. Where are her parents anyway? Never mind. Yeah, That's a question that needs to be answered in a Mario title. Why is she princess and not queen?
Okay. You do have to admit though, downloadable games like on Xbox Live Arcade have really opened the doors for new IPs,
and they're brilliant.
Yes, but see, that's where I think the future lies in downloadable games. Something that's small, like you get your idea out, and then if it does really well, move up to the big box, move up to actually having a disc, move up to having a huge game. But I think that's the biggest thing. People would rather take the risk on the game failing as a downloadable game than as a game where I have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars printing everything, maybe even millions of dollars, printing all these things and putting them in stores.
New intellectual properties need to start in the indie market. That's fact.
No.
They start there.
Binding of Isaac.
Binding of Isaac is awesome. One of my favorite games.
Obviously, Super Meat Boy, same guy.
It stays there. But once you've got a hit indie, you make your big game. Maybe not a sequel to that indie game, but someone's going to buy it. Because a new title by you. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want new IPs from the indie market coming. Well, I want indie creators coming into the mainstream market with a new IP.
So you're looking at indie gamers to move into the AAA market. That's what you want.
Yes, that's what I want.
Indie games to move into the AAA market. And I'm with you. And that's what I think... That's where the
but
future
you're not really okay. You agree with me on that.
I do,
but you're saying that sequels are staple and they have to stay. Sequels do not have to stay.
I don't think that all sequels do, but I think in some cases it's okay. When you make a new game system, let's say the PS4, the 720, whatever Xbox is going to call their crazy stupid system. Let's say that PlayStation is insane and decides to go wacky, and they're going to decide that all of the games that are released are going to be brand new IPs, and there's not going to be a single thing on it that was that was a previous IP. They're only going to release new games. They're going to try something different. Xbox, on the other hand, plays it safe. They somehow get a deal where they get Halo, they get Call of Duty exclusively on their new system, whatever the next one is. They're also going to get whatever else is like big and brand name, and both systems launch at the exact same time. Guess which one's going to win? Xbox, because when people buy the game system, they don't want to spend 60 to, and let's just pray it doesn't happen, but let's say the new game systems, the games cost more. Now it's $80 a game.
Oh,
Are you going to spend $80 on a game that you have no clue is good or not, because it might be even by a studio that you know and love, but you don't know what they're going to do with this game. It completely, this hero you don't know, this world you don't understand, whatever else. Are you going to go play Halo? Because I know how Halo plays. I played it at my friend's house. I like Halo.
Okay, you're sticking to your comfort zone. That's something.
But that's what people do. That's what
sequels are security blankets. That's your argument right now.
Yes, but
that's not a good thing. People need to grow up.
Yes, but the world won't grow up. People are still going to want to play those games because they know they're good. They know that money is going to go towards what they want to play, as opposed to taking a risk.
Okay, you're following. Okay, you're talking about this game, this new IP, like no one has any idea what it is. That's not how it works. You find out the creator of your favorite game is coming out with a new title. You do whatever you can to find out what's going on with that title. You look at screenshots. You look at story synopses. You follow the basis. You watch developer diaries. You see how it's going to play. You watch the gameplay trailers. You watch the theatrical trailers. And then you spend money on that new IP because you loved everything that you saw. Sure, that game may end up not feeling how you thought it was going to feel. It may not have a story as deep as you wanted, but you tried out a new game. You are richer for the experience. You have given them notes by people being reviewers. You have given the next developer notes on how to improve their next intellectual property. Not necessarily a sequel, just a new game, similar or completely different playstyle, how to get it better. And eventually, the new IP is going to be brilliant. And then you're going to demand a sequel, and the whole process starts over again. Even with my utopian, dystopian future of nothing but new IPs, sequels are going to come in, take over, and then some kid 20 years younger than me is going to be making the same argument and coming to the same conclusion I'm coming to now.
Okay, really fast. I hate to throw it under the bus yet again, but I need to bring up Brutal Legend for
You don't need to bring up Brutal Legend.
Okay, when that game released, people saw the screenshots, they heard what was it about and stuff, but at the same time, that was the issue. When you played the demo, it looked like it was going to be an action game, and it was going to be fun. But it turned out that it was mostly RTS, and people did not know that. And even though all this stuff came out, the commercials didn't warn you. Nothing warned you for it.
Let me interrupt you.
That's probably why the game dropped. Let me interrupt you.
That is completely Double Fine's fault. Tim Schafer, you dropped the ball on that one. I love your games. I own almost all of them. But you dropped the ball on that one. You should have let people know in some way or form that there was a real-time strategy part to it. Then they would have been more prepared and more positive on maybe not positive is the right word, but it's the word I'm going to go with the feedback. They could have given you feedback on that part of the game. It's like, whoa, yeah, we're making an action game, but we're putting this RTS stuff in it. And they're like, whoa, people are going to question you about that. And we are running out of time. So
yes, but
let's do our closing arguments.
Yes, no, and again, like what I said with Brutal Legend, that's the issue. That is the textbook example that all game companies now follow. This is why EA would rather release a really crappy co-op Dead Space 3 than release an original horror IP that's super exciting and scary. You know, you want to play it safe, because when they don't play it safe, which was them buying Brutal Legend from Activision and releasing that. Obviously, Tim Schafer didn't say anything, but that's the fear. All gamers have that fear in their head of, what if this game isn't like what I just saw? What if there's an element? And again, it could be a simple element that just ruins everything.
Okay. My final argument, IPs are good. For one thing, you're saying EA shouldn't take risks on new IPs.
I'm not saying they shouldn't, it's just they won't.
Okay. You're saying that stuff about EA. EA should take those risks, and they should fail on those risks, because EA is the devil and needs to die, and everyone knows it.
I'll agree with you on that.
Taking a risk is a good thing.
They did. It's called SWOTOR.
Multi-billion-dollar risk.
A risk is good because it gets old blood stuck in their way out of their way, and maybe even out of the industry completely, bringing in new developers and new companies, new names, new people to fall in love with, getting out of your comfort zone, letting go of the security blanket. And that's the end of my argument. I am Jeremy.
I am Justin.
And I'm Andrew. You can probably hear me in the background.
Yep. We hope you like this. Subscribe, like, tell us what you thought. If you have any opinions on our verses, tell us what you think.
Okay. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.